Welcome back to Ear Extravagant Adventures. I'm Rachel, and along with Mackenzie, we're your devoted guides to the captivating world of Disney, Universal, and beyond. Tune in every other week as we uncover a universe of wonder and cherished memories. Welcome aboard, fellow adventurers. This week, we are giving you the ultimate guide to Festival of the Arts at Epcot. We both really enjoy this festival. It's pretty new. It's less than 10 years old, right?
Yeah, I just was looking and it's in its 8th year.
And it's quickly becoming a fan favorite. But before we give you all of the information about Festival of the Arts, first, we want to give a quick shout out to our sponsor, Alonzi Travel, the ultimate family theme park experts. Planning theme park trips can be overwhelming, but Alonzi Travel is here to make it stress-free. With their years of experience, they're your fast pass to hassle-free travel. They handle all the details, allowing you to focus on having fun with your loved ones. So whether you dream of Hogwarts, Disneyland, or Walt Disney World, they've got it covered, tailoring the trips to your family's needs. Visit alonzi-travel.com/take the trip for a magical adventure.
Can we just talk about Alonzi Travel and the accolades they just got most recently?
Yes.
Yes. Rachel, do you want to say the honors?
Yes, so we are really excited. Alonzi Travel just earned their earmarked status, which means they're now an authorized vacation Disney planning agency. It's something that Disney awards to Disney affinity agencies, agencies who focus on Disney, do a really good job for their clients, selling, planning Disney. So we're really excited for them.
Yes, big award. We're very happy for
Yes.
or a big recognition, so I should say. So yes, very, very happy for Alonzi Travel.
Very excited. So definitely hit them up. Excited to have that extra. But Festival of the Arts. So Mackenzie, why don't you tell us what it is?
Yeah, so the festival is a 5-week long festival that happens annually. Like we said, it's heading into its 8th year. And at the time of this podcast, it's actually going to debut in 4 days. So we're talking this Friday, I believe, if I'm calculating my days correctly. So it's basically like what it says. It's a festival that embraces all forms of art. So musical performances, visual performing arts, culinary concoctions, you name it. You're going to see, lots of art things, all the things from January 12th through February 19th. And it's at Epcot.
And I think this is quickly becoming my favorite festival because of and we're going to go into it, all of the extras that they have. It used to be Food and Wine Festival was my favorite, but they haven't brought back the demonstrations and the classes and the tastings and any of the things that made Food and Wine Festival special. But Festival of the Arts has a lot of those things. So we're really excited to share all that with you guys because it's a really great festival. The only bummer is it's 5 weeks. So you do really have to plan around this. But the positive is that when this festival debuted, it was weekends only. And now it's all week. Yeah, because when we first went, it must have debuted it must have been
2017.
2017, yeah, because that's when I did my very first marathon. And this is a long accolade, but I'm telling you anyway. So we did first marathon, and then we did the Castaway Key Challenge, which is when you do the cruise right after the marathon. On the cruise, it's a short one, it's a 4-night one, and it gets back on Friday. And I saw that Festival of the Arts was debuting. I'm like, well, great, we're driving. Let's just stay for the weekend. And then that Monday is, what is it, Martin Luther King Day? So it's a holiday, so we can drive back that day and we won't have to use a vacation day. So great. So we stayed because it just happened to be on the weekend. We just happened to be back from the cruise. It was like the stars aligned and I loved it. Yeah. Plus Disney on Broadway, which we will get to. But yeah, we loved it. So now if we do that cruise, the Castaway Challenge, which I've done twice since then, we always stay and do Festival of the Arts after.
Yeah, no, this is definitely a favorite of mine as well and my family. So there's a lot of extras that you can do beyond just the food and, tasting around the world, which is also so much fun. But just being able to step into art or learn how to draw your favorite Disney character is really, really cool. So it's a lot more interactive than some of the other ones.
Totally agree. And a question I know we get asked a lot is, is it extra? So no, the festival itself is included with your theme park admission. So all of the things that we're going to talk about are included, except for the things that we will call out as extra money, specifically any of the food that you purchase that. So all of the booths that are available, you do purchase the food, but all of the extra activities and things like that, those are included. So it's not like you have to pay extra. This is just an added bonus when you go to Epcot.
Yep. A lot of souvenirs. So you'll see a lot of artists and booths around as well. So all of those are going to be extra as well. So if you want to go home with some Disney art, you're going to be paying for that.
Which we encourage.
Mm-hmm.
So the first, I hate this character, so you talk about this.
So Figment is also not my favorite. My husband would highly disagree. We need Abby on this call for it to be Figment. But this is Figment's festival. I mean, and that makes total sense because Figment is all about imagination and creativity. And so this is him. So right now, the newest souvenir that we're going to talk about is the popcorn bucket, which, you know, popcorn buckets.
But so cool.
So I am not a popcorn bucket fan, but this one I'd actually like probably wait in line or do the virtual queue for. So it is like Figment's inspiration station at the Odyssey. And so it is just an adorable little bucket. And then it comes with rainbow popcorn.
And if you guys aren't familiar with the Journey into Imagination with Figment ride, the building is clear glass triangles. So the popcorn bucket is clear glass triangle, well, not glass, clear plastic triangles. And inside is Figment jumping over a rainbow. It's so stinking cool. So yeah, this is one, like the last 2 years have been just Figment as a popcorn bucket, and the lines have been insane for this. So Mackenzie mentioned it's a mobile order. Mobile order,
yes.
Mobile order it if you really want it. It's super convenient, really easy, but it's really cute. I'd probably throw the popcorn away. That rainbow popcorn probably tastes disgusting, but it's cute.
But the bucket itself is adorable. Yes, definitely.
And the popcorn bucket is you pay for that. To our point about merchandise and food, you do pay for that, but it's so stinking cute. Yeah, I think it's going to be really popular.
Agreed. And then, so the other Figment inspired activity that you can do around the park is the scavenger hunt. So you can pay for a map. It's going to be about $9.99, or that's what it's been in the past. And you can get the map to see where you can find Figment all across Epcot.
And you put the stickers where you find them. So there's a sticker correlating to where you find him, and you put it on the map. And then once you fill up the map, you return it for a prize, because you can do the scavenger hunt without the map. You don't have to pay the $9.99. You can just find him around World Showcase. But if you want the prize and the map and the stickers, then you pay for it. And it's a great activity. If you're like, I know Mackenzie and I always talk to our clients about Epcot is a great park, even for kids. There's a lot of things that you can do that people don't even know about. This is one of them. So doing a fun scavenger hunt, kids love looking for hidden things. Like, this is a great activity for kids and adults, because I have a good time doing it too. Have you guys ever done the scavenger hunt?
Yeah, it's super cute, and it's a great way to, you know, do the around the world with the kids and keep them engaged.
Get them having fun and looking for things. Now, I don't know about you. This is my favorite thing to talk about, and it's the food. Yes. So there's 18, which is quite a few food studios, because it's an art thing. So studios, caveat, the studios don't open until 11. So the park opens at 9, typically. The food doesn't open until 11. And this harkens back to when World Showcase didn't open until 11. Now World Showcase opens when the park opens, but the food still doesn't open until 11. There's so many good food booths. Like, we're not going to talk about them all, because you can get online and see all the food. There's no point in telling you everything that there is, because there's a lot of things, but there's a lot of really good food. Yeah,
there's definitely some returning favorites. There are some new items that look really great. I think that Neapolitan dessert, if you're into the sweets, looks really tasty. And then I forget, did you see any savory items that you were eyeing?
Well, I remember from last year, the duck that I got in America was amazing.
I was looking at that and I was wondering if that would be a good option.
Yes, and the deconstructed BLT is really good.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't look super at the menus, but they also had a deconstructed French onion soup, which was it was phenomenal. And it's like, but I love French onion soup. But there's a lot of things that I very much enjoy. But those two are like very specifically. Yeah, and the grilled cheese.
Yes, there's a whole grilled cheese studio, isn't there? Yeah.
Yes.
And so and I did see there's a lot of deconstructed because of the art aspect of it. There's a deconstructed key lime pie as well with the BLT. So super cool. Everything is like super bright and colorful. We were talking about some of the flavors also lend to like some winter but not super heavy. You were mentioning you saw a lot of citrus, which was really nice. Yeah. So that is nice when you like us don't love super heavy sweet things.
And there's a good balance of like a lot of savory, and the presentations on these are my favorite because they really lean into, because culinary is art. Culinary arts is part of this. So they really lean into the presentation with things. So like when you order the grilled cheese with tomato basil soup, it comes in like a little pop art soup can, which is so stinking cute. Some of the desserts, like there's one chocolate chip cookie and you can paint your own chocolate chip cookie. Yep. It's like they really lean into the art aspect of this, which I very much appreciate. And it's just fun. It's fun.
Yeah, I feel like theming wise, this festival, I just love it so much. Like I feel like Food and Wine, yes, there's a ton of food and things like that, but this really, really leans into the theme, like you said.
Yes. So. And speaking of food, they have a fun like stamp collecting thing, right?
Yeah, so you can do like a festival passport. And so basically it's a food stroll where you have to go. It's called the Wonderful Walk of Colorful Cuisine. And there are certain items that you can pick from this, or there's certain items that you would have to get. And so there are 5 decadent dishes. And once you redeem all of those, then you can go get your prize from Deco Delights.
And those dishes are just so, I want to throw them out because they are really good. There's 7 dishes, but you don't have to have all 7. You can just have 5. So one is the tomato soup with grilled cheese, tomato soup with pimento cheese, bacon, and fried green tomato grilled cheese. Thank you. I'll have that. Chorizo and potato empanada. Roasted beets with goat cheese. Immediately pass. Deconstructed key lime pie.
Really? I would totally do that.
Goat cheese is immediately a no. Neapolitan dessert trio, and then blueberry filled pastry tart with purple icing. So you don't have to have all 7, but I already know the 2 I would eliminate, and the others I would just eat all of them. So when you have that
what's the other?
I would not do the beets or the Neapolitan, actually.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
To me, I would like totally get rid of the pastry tart, which just looks like a Pop-Tart to me.
It is a Pop-Tart. It's a Disney Pop-Tart. And it's like, because the ones at Woody's Lunchbox are really good. So I think this one.
Oh, that is true.
Yeah.
I'm looking at that. I do like the Woody's one.
Yeah, see, I think you would like that one. So the festival guides that Mackenzie was mentioning, they are free. And I always tell my clients, get as many as you want because they're free. And they have all of the food booths with all the menu items, and then an additional page with the Wonderful World Walk of Colorful Cuisine at the back. But you do have to remember to ask them to stamp it, because if you don't, then you have to buy it again, because they don't just stamp you. You have to have proof of purchase. Now, I don't know if it's the same, but for the cookie stroll, I did not have to have the same. I didn't have to have 5 different cookies. I could have 5 of the same cookie. So it is worth maybe asking. Maybe you don't want all 5 of these. Maybe you want 2 grilled cheeses, 2 key lime pies, and a blueberry dessert. Well, just throwing it out there, that might be okay, because they didn't care how many stamps and all the stamps were different when I redeemed my cookie. They just cared that it was stamped.
Okay. So none of your stamps, they didn't correlate with a specific snack.
I had 3 Linzer cookie stamps.
Oh. And you did not have 3 Linzer cookies?
No, I did have 3.
Oh, you did have 3 Linzer cookies and they didn't care.
So the stamp is going to match like the menu item, but they didn't care that I had 3 Linzer cookies. So I didn't have to have the Linzer, the black and white, the gingerbread,
So they just wanted you to buy 5 things.
Right.
Got it. Okay. Right. That's good to know.
Yes. So.
And what was your prize?
Thank you. That is included with this. So at the Festival of the Holidays, you got a cookie plus a chocolate peppermint mousse. So that was really nice. I think, does it tell you what you get this year?
I didn't see it, but maybe I didn't do enough digging.
No, I forget what it was. I got it last year, and I think it might be a smoothie or a slushie.
Oh.
In a souvenir cup. I can't remember, but you definitely the point of it is once you collect them all, you redeem it for a specialty complimentary artist palette cookie. That's what it says.
Oh, okay.
So, I mean, it's something for free. If you already wanted to eat those things, then get the stamps so you get the free cookie. Love it.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Yes. So the food, obviously we like the food. The food is a big thing. Highly encourage you guys to try the food. But that's not all. What else?
No. So there are lots of things that are happening daily, including some visual and performing arts. So I feel like we need to tee up you for the Disney on Broadway concert series.
Oh my gosh. This was the reason I stayed for after marathon in 2017, because the opening act was, I'm obsessed with Josh Strickland. He played Tarzan on Broadway, and it's a little insight to my life. I used to watch Girls Next Door about the Playmates at the Playboy Mansion. And I loved Holly Madison. And Holly Madison had her own spinoff show in Vegas, and Josh Strickland is her best friend, and his voice is amazing, and I loved him. And he was performing with Ashley, I forget her last name, but she played Mary Poppins on Broadway. And I would see them do performances on Instagram together, and their voices are just great. They have such onstage chemistry. And
Ashley Brown.
Thank you. I knew it was an easy one. Ashley Brown. So they opened the festival, and I was like, I have to see them. So they will perform for 30 minutes, a medley of Broadway hits. And it's not necessarily the ones that they were in. So last year when I saw them, they did Hercules, they did Aida, they did Beauty and the Beast, Frozen. So it's the entire collection of Disney on Broadway, and they'll do selections from it. And it's like, it is fun. It's not some old band that nobody cares about anymore. No offense to whoever loves these old bands, but this is current stuff, and it's Disney hits, and it's performed by literal Broadway stars. Last year, we also got to see them perform with, oh my gosh, what is it? It's a 3-name guy. He played the genie in Aladdin. Michael.
I think he's on
Michael
James Scott.
Thank you. Michael James Scott. He's hilarious. This man is hilarious. But so we watched the finale, and they all 4 of them performed together, and it was fantastic. The other girl was, I think she played Nala on Broadway. But
Kissy Simmons, perhaps?
Yes. Kissy Simmons. Yes.
So they will both be back, as will Josh Strickland, Ashley Brown, L. Stephen Taylor. There's a lot of people returning.
There's a lot of people, and they'll do different weekends, but it's always a compilation. You never know what they're going to sing, and each performance they may sing different things, and it's my favorite thing. So if you're really excited about it because they get more and more popular, I would recommend the dinner package. So what is that? Select restaurants, you can get a dinner reservation or lunch reservation, and then you're guaranteed seating. So if you want to for sure have a seat on a bench and not have to wait for 2 hours in line, dinner packages are the best way to go, because they'll give you a VIP entrance, and you get seated first, and you get your pick of where to sit. In addition, you get a meal. So it's definitely something that we recommend if you're really excited. Yeah.
And there's actually a good amount of restaurants that you can choose from. So you're not stuck with just 3, which is what has been in the past for some of the other dining packages. So
Yes.
Akershus, Beer Garden, Coral Reef, Garden Grill, Le Cellier, Rose and Crown, and Spice Road Table. And then there's also same day dining packages for Regal Eagle if you were interested in some barbecue.
And Regal Eagle is subject to availability. So if the dinner packages have sold out, then you can't get walk-up availability. But if you're like, oh, it would be nice, I'm not like, it's not a have to have, but it would be nice to have, then Regal Eagle is a great option for that. And they do, is it 2 or 3 performances every day? I think it's 2.
I think it's 3. So it's
3.
5:30, 6:45, and 8.
Perfect. So 3 opportunities to see these amazing performances, and I highly recommend it. I'm obsessed with Disney on Broadway, so I guess maybe I'm a little biased, but highly recommend. But outside of that, there's lots of other entertainment. What else can we see, Mackenzie?
Yeah, so if you, besides, Disney on Broadway, seeing that, there's also live music daily on the World Showcase Plaza from different various artists. There's an acrobatics show showing on Saturdays through Wednesdays. Have you seen that? I don't know if I've seen that. It's called Art Defying Gravity.
I don't think I ever timed it appropriately to see it, but I love acrobats. And this is just like there's so many variations of art. And I love that Disney also includes like performance art in this because like it's art. It is art. You think of art as just like drawing, but it's not. It's also all these other things.
Yeah, no, super cool. And then there's also featured artists that are drawing your favorite Disney characters and scenes, and you can like actually watch from start to finish. They do this in minutes, and it's so impressive.
It's so impressive. And then they'll also have, do you have this later on? No. So we kind of mentioned, my brain just left the building. Oh, sorry. Different booths are set up around World Showcase where you can purchase things. And Mackenzie mentioned earlier, you can purchase art. You can also meet a lot of these artists. So they're not just Disney artists. There's other artists that'll be out and you can buy their art and they can sign it for you, or you can just talk to them and meet them. But the artists are out. And then they also have artists, some of them, like you kind of mentioned, do live art. So my friend last year, she got a watercolor scarf where they have cool. That water and they add the ink color of your choice and then they dye the scarf right in front of you. There's that. There's that tire wheel art where you like sit on a bike and it makes art with color. You can do that. Yep. And they also have the name people that'll do your name in like different styles. So there's a lot of different kinds of art. But if you want to see somebody draw live, they definitely have that going on too. There's like so much, and we're not even done telling you all the things that there is to do.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of ways that you can actually participate in the art. So like Rachel said, like getting on the bicycle, you could like draw your own art, but there's a couple of other things that you can do. Did you want to kick that off?
Yes. So Animation Academy, we've done this every time. And if you guys are familiar with Animation Academy, there is one at Walt Disney World, at Animal Kingdom, at Conservation Station. There's also one at Disneyland at California Adventure, but it just makes sense that they do this during Festival of the Arts, and it'll be a Disney animator, and they're at the same place where you'll watch the Disney on Broadway concert. It's the American Theater, and you just show up. They give you a clipboard, they give you a pen, and they walk you through how to draw a character. You never know what the character is going to be until you sit down. The artist just picks. And like, I cannot draw, but I've done Dopey, Figment, Daisy, Stitch, and I think one other one. And when I'm done, you can tell it's that character. They make it very, very easy because kids are doing this too. So you start with, it's basically circles and circles and circles and circles. And the artists walk you through it and you get to keep your art when you're done. Really, really fun.
And it's free. There a cost? I was going to say, is there a cost? No, it's free.
It's free.
Another thing that's free is the expressions section. So this is basically a paint by number. So you head up to the booth, you say, yeah, you want to participate. They will give you a paintbrush, some paint, and then they're going to tell you the number, and you can go up to the mural and then fill in several squares yourself, and you get to be part of some Disney art that stays around for the whole festival.
It's so cool. And when it fills up, they'll bring in another one, and they give you, if they have enough, a little print of what it's supposed to look like when it's all done. So it's really cool, especially if you go early in the festival, to see how it comes from like nothing. And then when it's done, you're like, I did part of that. That's a really fun one. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. One of my favorite photos that I have is my husband. He is in a one of the art photo ops that I forget which. Oh my God, it's the George Washington crossing the Delaware.
Oh yeah, that one's a fun one.
Yep. So I have that, and that is like one of my favorites, where basically you get to like hop into a piece of art and strike a pose. So that is also something that you can do. No cost to that. Are there photographers still taking the photos? Yeah.
The only one that I didn't ever see a PhotoPass photographer at was the Frida Kahlo one. And I don't necessarily, that is an art piece. Like it's the eyebrows and her hair, and you stick your face in it. So that way you have her eyebrows. I've never seen a PhotoPass person there, but my husband and I, our favorite one is the Van Gogh, and it's the screaming one, and then next to it is like, I think the sunflowers maybe. Yeah. So those are our two favorites, but there's a lot, and there's PhotoPass photographers, and guess what? If you got Memory Maker, that's included with your Memory Maker.
Yep, exactly. A couple things for the kids. You can do the chalk art in certain areas of the World Show. Right on the World Showcase Plaza. They can do some chalk drawings there, which is really fun for them to get excited. And then there's also some separate galleries as well where
I'm obsessed with chalk art. They'll have multiple little squares, and they'll have it blocked off so you can see it. And they're all different artists. And then they also have a featured step into the picture. So our chalk artist will make this amazing chalk art, and then you can walk into it, and they'll tell you where to stand, so it looks like you're in the art. And last year it was Encanto with the stairs, and you're inside Casita. I don't understand how people can make this magic with chalk.
Yeah. No, it's so impressive.
It's so impressive. And again, this is free for you guys to do the paint by numbers. That's free for your kids to do chalk art. That's free for you to be inside the magic. That's free. Like, the only thing so far that we've told you have to pay for is the food, if you want to get a prize for the scavenger hunt, and then the colorful cuisine, which is food. Like, lots of free stuff.
So circling back to food, what's your strategy when you go into Epcot during this festival?
Yes. Number one, to get a reusable gift card. And if I had the foresight, I would have grabbed my props to show you all of these. So every festival, they do sell specialty gift cards. So I say that because they're themed to be whatever that festival is, but they're also attached to your wrist. So they have those like elastic wrist things. So I always get one of those, and I load them with usually $100 to $200 depending on how many people are with me. And I just keep it on my wrist. And every time I go to a festival booth, I just scan it and go. So I don't have a million charges on my credit card. I don't have a million charges on my room. I have one gift card, and we're good to go. Number two is I do look up the food items before I go, and I figure out what I want to eat. So that way, like, I'll know maybe I'm only in Epcot for one day. So now I got to prioritize. I want to try 15 things, but my stomach can't fit 15. So I'm going to have to figure out what ones are going to be my priorities. So looking at the menus ahead of time, and Disney actually now has been releasing those menu items, so you can see them and read about them and figure out what you want to try before you go. Because you don't have to. Like, you can show up and make a game day decision. But I find that I'm happier if I know what everything is and I can pick what I want to try. Because my stomach has limited real estate.
And I like to do some of if I'm not going like the first weekend, which usually I'm not, I like to see some of the reviews in advance or before I go, just because something that might be like really appetizing in the photos might not necessarily be exactly what you think it is when you get there. It might be super sweet, or it might be just, executed not how you thought. Or So,
right.
So do a little legwork beforehand, because while the like cost of all of these is, not like a ton per item, it does add up, especially if you are getting a couple like beverages. Alcoholic beverages can, be, depending on the complexity or what's in it, can be, upwards of, 13, $15. So you want to prioritize like the things that are actually going to be tasty. So do some research in advance.
Yes.
And for us, we tend to skip doing regular sit-down dining when it comes to a festival, especially this festival. So like we said, like there are a lot of things, a lot of savory items on this menu in particular. So, and these items, I mean, you can get a couple and it feels like you've had an entire meal. And this way you're still walking, you're still seeing things, you're still participating in the activities, and you get to try a bunch of different things.
Yeah, we're the exact same way, because the festivals are limited time and their menus do change. So you may not be able to have this item again. So we'd much rather have festival food than a restaurant that's always there with pretty much always the same menu. So, but we also love food. Most of my clients enjoy the festival stuff, but if you have picky eaters and you think they're not really going to eat anything, then that might not be the best strategy for you, because some clients are like, well, we'll have festival food maybe for lunch, but Johnny Q, whatever, doesn't want to have anything but mac and cheese and chicken tenders. All right, well, then we'll make you a dinner reservation, so at least I know for sure one of the meals they'll have what they want. But if you and this food isn't like super adventurous. I'd say like the majority of this food, most people would eat.
Yeah. I feel like it lends a little bit more towards like the adults, like looking at some of the sweet items. Sure, my 3-year-old would try them, but like some of the savory, probably not as much.
I think though that this one, more than any of the other ones though, has food that is more kid friendly. Like Food and Wine Festival, I feel like has a lot more adventurous flavor palettes, and kids don't tend to like that food as much. I think Festival of the Arts has the most, like, I mean, a grilled cheese, come on, and tomato basil soup.
Of course.
Yeah. So I think this festival lends itself the most to picky eaters.
Yeah. But you could also get your kids a mobile order from, any of the other places, so they can get their quesadilla, or they can get, something from any of the other options around if they're not enjoying the booths. So.
Yeah. You don't have to eat at the festival booths. You can do whatever you want, but we encourage it because it's fun. And it's included with your theme park admission.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. What are any other tips that you have? Because those are my main ones. Enjoy it, get a gift card, and have a food plan. But any other tips that you have?
No, I think food plan, just have a general sense of like where things are. And I would just give yourself a little extra time to, walk around and see everything. If this is your first trip into Epcot, or even if it's not your first, I feel like there's so much to see during a festival on top of everything else there is to see at Epcot. So just giving yourself a little extra time to like go around the World Showcase and enjoy it.
Enjoy it, I think, is just kind of the moral of the story. Like it's fun. Epcot is a very underrated park, in my opinion, and these festivals just really, really add a little extra to it, a little extra secret sauce.
Yeah, actually, I do have a tip. So we tend to always get the park hopper, just because you're pretty much always, there's always a festival going on at this point. So we tend to love to go back to Epcot in the evenings and do like a little section of Epcot every time. So I would, maybe consider doing a park hopper if you want to, do a little bit of a taster around the world, but not want to do it all in one day.
Yeah, and that pairs really well with like a Hollywood Studios day, or even an Animal Kingdom day, because most of the time you're done Animal Kingdom early enough where you could still do that. And Hollywood Studios, you can get there via boat or walking. So those two lend itself really well for park hopping. And your point about having a game plan, the festival book actually has everything, the booths in order, And I have a TikTok about this, but Disney has an official stance on what country to start in, and it's Canada. So Canada kicks off World Showcase, and then it goes around, and you end back in Mexico. So the official Disney stance, you start in Canada.
Is that where you start?
I start in France.
Yeah. I feel like I always end up entering through the International Gateway.
Yeah, if it's a festival, I tend to stay at one of the Epcot area hotels. So I enter through International Gateway. But if I'm starting, if I come into the front, I'm starting in Canada.
Yeah. I would never think to go to England first.
Well, no, it's either Canada or Mexico. That's the
No, thing. I know, but if I was going from International Gateway.
England?
Yeah. No. And then if I was coming in from the main gate.
Yeah. Which way do you go?
I always go to Mexico.
You do?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, Mexico it is.
That's so funny. Yeah, I always go to Canada. I don't know why. But it's probably because that's how the festival book is. And I'm like, okay, let's go in order. It's not because I'm not getting drunk at Epcot. That's not in my life plan. I don't want to do that. And those margaritas will mess you up. And I don't really drink.
I enjoy margaritas.
Oh, well, that explains it. Yeah. Like, I'm not a huge margarita fan, so I don't really care about that. I'm going to go the other way. That explains it. There you go.
There we go.
Debate settled. Do you want a margarita or not? Then that's how you go. Well, that is, I think, all we have for the festival.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So definitely reach out to our friends at Alonzi Travel. There is still time to book a Festival of the Arts trip. It goes through February. So a last minute trip is in your cards. We can definitely help you with that. So reach out to our friends at Alonzi Travel to plan your Festival of the Arts or any trip that you have in mind, and make sure to like, follow, subscribe, comment, all that on our channels. We love having you here, and tune in next week for another episode, which I never look at the schedule, so I can never tell you what's coming up, but tune in 2 weeks for another episode of Extravagant Adventures. Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Bye.